Hi, my name's Fiona Bowie and I'm Sustainability Coordinator for John Holland on the Metro Tunnel Early Works project. The Metro Tunnel in Melbourne is a $10.9 billion project that aims to deliver more trains more often and is one of the largest public transport infrastructure projects ever undertaken in Australia. The scope of the project includes twin 9-kilometre rail tunnels, 5 new train stations and high-capacity signalling. The Metro Tunnel Early Works contract was awarded to John Holland in June 2016 and is the first program of works. The aim of the Early Works package is to prepare key sites for the start of major construction works in 2018, when the Tunnels and Stations PPP contract begins work. Our scope includes utility service relocations, site preparation works such as tree removal, building demolition, monument relocation, and road reconfigurations. The largest part of the early works scope is within the Melbourne CBD, where we'll be excavating large shafts up to 11 stories deep as part of preparations for the tunnels and stations. We'll also be constructing acoustic sheds underneath the sheds, so underneath the shafts to reduce noise and neighbouring residents and offices. Sustainability performance is mandated in the contract through the project's sustainability targets, which include achievement of an excellent ISCA design and as-built rating of 67. Sustainability performance and achievement of an ISCA rating is also mandated as an environmental performance requirement, which were developed during the environmental effects statement evaluation. We've had a good 6-month-long planning phase on this project, which has been particularly important given the form of contract on these works. John Holland is a managing contractor for the early works package, which means that we do not have any direct works or workforce, an unusual position for our team. For the sustainability team, this meant coming to the realisation that we almost entirely reliant on the performance and reporting of our contractors to achieve the majority of our ISCA score. Additional to this, given the preparatory nature of our works, most contractors are small businesses with little to no knowledge of sustainability. When we developed a map showing where our biggest ticket ISCA credits were, being waste, noise, vibration, materials, energy and heritage, we saw that most of these credits were achieved largely on site and would need contractors' buy-in. So we decided to focus strongly on the ISCA procurement credits, despite their low individual credit scores, to help us really develop a thorough procurement process which would educate and engage our contractors in understanding the importance of sustainability and improve their sustainability performance. The process started in our managing contractor systems by including sustainability in the procurement management plan and in developing a sustainable procurement strategy. We then assessed our Metro Tunnel and ISCA sustainability credits and converted them into contractor sustainability targets, written without jargon, very specific and measurable and achievable goals, and with accompanying guidance to assist the contractors in how to achieve them. The full list of targets contained variants to allow for differences in the contractor size and scope. A specific set of contractor sustainability targets are being included in every invitation to tender and contract through assessing the tender scope of works and selecting a suite of targets specific to that package. Tenderers are then asked to provide details of their sustainability policy and details on how they intend to achieve their sustainability targets. When the contractor tenders are received, they're assessed using our multi-criteria analysis tool, which looks at their economic, social and environmental performance, including sustainability, and weights the non-economic criteria at least 30%. To assist contractors in understanding the importance of sustainability to the early works package, we organised an industry night at the Melbourne Town Hall. Over 250 people from 153 companies attended to learn about the sustainability targets, network with organisations that could assist them in achieving their targets, and engage with project staff during a Q&A and networking session. The level of engagement of participants during the Q&A session as well as feedback following the session, identified that promotion and developing an understanding of sustainability was extremely useful to contractors. This has also been seen in the quality of tender submissions from those who attended the evening. Upon selection and award of our contractors, we have a kick-off meeting with them, where amongst other topics such as safety, environment and community, sustainability performance is discussed, and we start assisting them with their sustainability action plan. The requirement for every contractor to develop a sustainability action plan was introduced to give our managing contractor assurance that the contractor on the ground was aware of their targets, as sometimes in companies, the team developing the tender and understanding the contracts is different to the team on the ground. Rather than a full sustainability management plan, the Sustainability Action Plan is a very simple template, getting the contractor to consider their risks and opportunities, as well as identifying specific actions that they'll need to undertake or plan for, who will do them, and when it will happen. As a sustainability coordinator, I'm on hand to help the contractor with this process as much as they need. Reviewing their plan gives me an opportunity to tell them about initiatives that they may not have thought about and identify the areas that they could strengthen. Feedback from the contractors I've worked with so far has found their process, especially the Sustainability Action Plan, useful in turning sustainability into a big unknown into a set of clear and manageable tasks. We've gone to a lot of effort to break down sustainability and upskill our contractors, and I think they're appreciating that. The next phase of our managing contractor sustainability performance will involve developing content on our intranet, a page which all contractors can access, and there we'll be able to give them handy sustainability tips and receive news. They'll receive news about initiatives that have evolved since they first developed their Sustainability Action Plan. So based on this, what are our top tips? I'd say that even though it was the managing contractor arrangement that drew our focus towards managing sustainability through procurement better, the lessons I'll be taking through to my next job can be written in a simple equation. Understanding plus ownership equals commitment. Understanding, sustainability is a big unknown to our contractors still. It's been really important to tailor the language and the deliverables to make them highly relevant and understandable to each contractor. Having sustainability resources within the managing contractor team to work with each contractor in developing their understanding has also been extremely useful. Ownership, it's been crucial to ensure contractors know that they have ownership of their sustainability targets. A really big part of this has been making sure that those targets are specific enough that the contractor doesn't feel inclined to dismiss them as not applicable to their scope. Getting them to complete the Sustainability Action Plan has really reinforced that ownership. So get these two things right, and you're well on your way to getting commitment, contractor buy-in, and shared goal to achieve our overall ISCA rating and excellent sustainability performance. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Louise Barrett and I'm the Sustainability Manager for the Metro Tunnel project. So what is the Metro Tunnel project and why is it needed? Melbourne is Australia's fastest growing city. Projections for population growth are to double to the middle of the century. Melbourne Metro is crucial to the future of livability in Melbourne. Currently, the City Loop and outlying key stations of Metro of Melbourne are at choke point, and we can't get any more services through the City Loop. Subsequently, the Metro Tunnel project is approximately 9 kilometres long and will construct 5 new stations going through the heart of our city. What that allows for is for us to have a dedicated line for the Sunbury, Cranbourne, Pakenham line and enable more services to go through the City Loop, as well as creating a dedicated new line for that service. We can actually run more services on about 70% of Melbourne's network as a consequence of the project, and the scale and complexity of this project is enormous, and it's inevitable that there will be impacts across the city. So the procurement approach. The project is being procured through 4 main packages: the early works package, the tunnels and stations package, the rail systems package, and the rail infrastructure package. The early works package consists of utility service relocation, demolition, and CBD access shafts. It also includes tram diversion works and construction power for utility for tunnel boring machines. The tunnel and stations package is 9 kilometres of twin tunnel bored underground and 5 stations, including fit out. It also includes mechanical and electrical systems, tunnel and stations maintenance, rail systems installation within the tunnel. The Rail Infrastructure Alliance is the 2 portal locations at either end of the tunnel, the eastern and western portals, construction, and also including eastern and western turnbacks. The Rail Systems Alliance is about high capacity signalling, conventional signalling upgrades and modifications through other areas of the network, and communication systems. Currently, the project is procuring the tunnels and stations package and the rail systems package, with early works already being awarded to John Holland, KBR joint venture. So the sustainability journey for our particular project. We started off our sustainability journey by concentrating on building capacity, capability, and culture within our organisation, seeing this as a key cornerstone to enabling the sustainability team to influence across the organisation, to put out our requirements and have the various levels of the organisation become familiar with the sustainability rating tools, such as Infrastructure Sustainability Council Australia's IS rating tool and the Green Building Council Australia Green Star Station rating tool. We did that through a variety of ways. One, we actually put through a lot of our staff through specific ISAP or GSAP training. We created a sustainability working group which included different levels of the organisation to comment and review initiatives that were being put forward as part of the 2 sustainability rating tools or outside of the realm of those rating tools. We also developed specific branding and messaging to drive familiarity with sustainability as a word. You can't really always guarantee that everyone has the same previous experience with sustainability on major projects, so kind of resetting that framework and educating some individuals on what sustainability meant and what it would be for our project was part of that culture building. Messaging was pretty important from our leadership, so that endorsement from leadership and working with our leadership team to be familiar with the ISCA IS rating tool and GBCA rating tool enabled messaging to be clear and concise to all staff members. And we also developed an organisational engagement plan to ensure that messaging is consistent. And doing this work is important so that everyone's on the same page, that you can ensure that your interactions with contractors are consistent and also helpful in terms of working with the contractor to achieve our requirements. So the planning phase, there was a lot of work done in terms of our sustainability program in the planning phase. We targeted culture, capability and capacity, and through that culture building we developed the MMRA, Melbourne Metro Rail Authority Sustainability Policy, which developed our vision. And that sustainability vision was to connect commuters in the healthiest, most sustainable way possible, to ensure that Melbourne remains the most livable city in the world, leaving a lasting legacy for present and future generations, environmentally, socially and economically. So looking at that triple bottom line approach and having that philosophy that it almost blanketed the whole organisation and all its operations and what we were delivering as a project. The policy fed in to the policy and the vision fed into the sustainability targets, of which there are 9, which would subsequently flow into contractual requirements. Having a policy that's endorsed by your CEO is particularly helpful to always bring back the contract requirements and the delivery approach to a solid piece of endorsed approach and value system. Yep. So to help with the delivery of that policy and to achieve the policy and those targets, we developed a governance framework. So you've got the policy there. We also have a sustainability strategy, which outlined what we were going to do and the values behind the policy and the objectives that we set ourselves. We also had a detailed sustainability management plan which outlined how each contractor was going to help us achieve our targets and how we plan to do ISCA inventory boundaries, weightings, assessments, etc. And the sustainability targets, which you can see the green discs as part of our branding. So some of the themes that we looked at or had targets around were energy, waste, materials, and urban ecology and vegetation. Having that governance framework allowed the organisation to really know where it sat in and how it was going to deliver these, the vision and the targets. So in developing and setting those requirements, we leveraged off those key values developed through the targets and the policy, and we also did an extensive bit of work around benchmarking. So benchmarking really enabled us to use project precedents, talk to our leadership about what's achievable and where we can take it in terms of the next level up, and using the 2 rating tools also allowed the project to have this unified, consistent language around sustainability, which was easy for us to, well, not easy, but allowed us to put in those requirements into our contract and have everyone on the same page in terms of achieving our outcomes. In that planning phase, we also decided to start early. So if there's going to be my first top tip, I'd say it's all about planning early and implementing your initiatives early. So we didn't just wait for a contractor to come on board to put in our initiatives. We started with our consultants developing the reference design for the project. So we included some initiatives and early ISCA scorecard rating and GBCA scorecard rating in the reference design, and that allowed us to demonstrate to both our leadership and during procurement phase how achievable we thought our specific targets were. Yep. So leading on from setting our requirements and putting them into the reference design and leading on to contractual requirements, we tried to ensure that we could have the most integrated approach through our different disciplines and have that reflected in our contract. So where you had mech-and-elect requirements that related to some initiatives we were pushing within our ref design, we had that in the kind of technical mech-and-elect section of the contract. Similarly for resourcing and ensuring that that sustainability wasn't its own part of the contract, but thoroughly integrated to ensure that relevant teams are reviewing specific requirements that related to them. In addition to that, we were quite specific in our contractual requirements, seeking a overall rating of 70 and then how that broke up for each particular package. Another top tip would be how we approach the electronic data room, so where we house all our information. We had a specific sustainability section, and included all our reference design materials, all our benchmarking materials and documentation and our governance documentation to really help the contractor have as much as a leg up and a head start as possible in achieving our particular requirements. So some of the innovations and initiatives that Melbourne Metro Rail Authority investigated was looking into living infrastructure. So we looked at how the project could influence and have positive outcomes in urban ecology across the city. So that looked at water-sensitive urban design, productive soils, and how we could influence best tree growing conditions that we can within the city, as well as looking understory planting and diverse understory planting. We partnered with a not-for-profit organisation called Loci Environment and Place for them to advise us on best practice approach and research. In addition to that, we also had extensive consultation with different councils, so collaboration is really key when you're looking at these initiatives and looking to implement them on any major project. Another innovation or initiative we investigated was biophilic design. So biophilic design is also known as architecture of life, is kind of designing using nature as opposed to designing it out. So considering things such as green walls and how you experience a place and how you re-inject nature, whether it be through greenery or through a pattern that you see in nature, or through audio experiences. Another innovation that we considered was water-sensitive urban design and how we could connect in with broader kind of city water-sensitive urban design outcomes. So we set up a water-sensitive urban design working group with assistance from water retailers and investigated different projects that were out there across the city to create local potable, non-potable water sources. So I guess for us and the next steps, we're currently going through bid reviews. As I was saying, we've currently procuring the Tunnels and Stations package, PPP package, and Rail Systems Alliance. So we're going through a bid review, but to look to the future, we're setting up an extensive onboarding process with the successful respondents, and ensuring that the handover and communication systems are set up and appropriate, and ensuring that we've got working groups to make sure that our targets are achieved. And also looking at how we can work with the contractors to explore further initiatives as we go through an alignment phase, and how we're going to report back on the achievement of those particular requirements set out in the contract. So top tips. Collaboration and early collaboration too. So working with your local councils, research institutions, universities, and engaging early on trying to understand what initiatives are out there, what innovations are out there. There's lots of ideas out there, and working with all of those different organisations and industries can really open up the field as to what you could possibly deliver as part of a major project. Internally, collaboration with other discipline streams, including engineering to stakeholder, etc., is pretty key, and collaboration with your contractor as well. So making sure that you set up your relationships early and work on them. My other top tip would be integration. So making sure that you have a sustainability champion within your different discipline teams, and how that is reflected through your design reports, how that's reflected through your stakeholder strategies, etc., ensuring that sustainability and what you want to achieve as your initiatives is integrated and well understood. And that also goes for contractual requirements. And my last top tip would be continuous improvement. So it's can be potentially pretty easy to set your requirements and not look back and see how you could improve it for the next project, or considering Melbourne Metro is a 10-year project, to see how we can ensure that there's, the outcomes that we're achieving are relevant over that 10-year life cycle for the project and it being delivered. Thank you.